Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Welcome back. It is hour number 3 of Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Femi Abebefe, Dustin Sweetelson filling in for Mitch and Paulie as they're enjoying the day off, headed into this Memorial Day weekend. You can sense the vibe here at Circa, not behind us at the Sportsbook because we are in a little bit of a dead period right now for games that are on. But tonight we'll be active with the VGK game and also the Spurs and the Thunder in Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals.
Just realizing you kind of know how insignificant you are when you don't even realize it's Memorial Day till you get here today and people are talking about, hey, it's Memorial Day Friday. I'm like, yeah, I was on the schedule for work, so I didn't even think about taking off. It just lets you know how insignificant you are.
The two working the weekends where it's like, oh, today's Easter. Oh, today's Mother's Day. I'm like, damn, I guess I'm just at work. I'm at work. We sweating out something.
It's a day.
It's
a day.
But hey, it's a pretty damn good job to do it. You know, like we're saying, like,
I'm not complaining.
If this is what we got to do for work, all right, twist my arm. I'll be there to talk sports. We were discussing, though, in the last segment to close out hour number 2, which by the way, we will get to the bets. In Pocket Plays is coming up at the end. We'll break down Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA, Game 2 on the ice between the Avalanche and the Golden Knights. But we were discussing low-key sporting events for bucket lists, like under the radar bucket list events. And we did get a few responses. Shout out to our guy Sean Green, our VSiN teammate here. And he came up with one that was really good. The hotel room that is overlooking the ballpark in Toronto. That is a really, really that'd be a fun experience.
I'm in.
If you want that. Like, I'd be all the way in on that. Like, that's cool.
But that's also, it combines, I get the TV for the replays, I get room service, I don't have to be around people.
You can sync it up, or you'll just see the delay. Like, you're almost getting your own instant replay. You can watch it live and then just go to the TV to watch the play like 5 seconds later.
And like being a bettor is a unique thing too, because one, I don't like to be in an arena where I'm rooting for a team and I have to deal with other people if my team's losing. But also, I don't love the idea of people rooting against my bets either. So if I'm in the hotel room, I kind of get the best of both worlds. I get to be at the game and I'm isolated in my own little area.
I was at the Elite Eight here in Vegas between Gonzaga and UConn. That was the first UConn title that they won under Dan Hurley. And I had the under in the game. And it was like a no sweat winner. But like there was a guy that was next to us and like he could kind of tell that I was like invested in like a different way. You know, like, most people are invested in like, I'm rooting for Gonzaga, I'm rooting for UConn. I was like, I'm rooting for no points. And UConn destroyed them. And they won by like 40 or something like that. But the under cashed. And he was like, oh, like what are you rooting for? I was like, I'm rooting for no points, man. And he's like, what's the number? And I told him, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll root for you too. So he was at least nice. He was cool. But I've had some situations where people have been like, oh, don't think it's going to hit. I'm like, yeah, no bleep, buddy. Get out of my face.
Dude, 2017, 2018 at a sports bar in Santa Monica, California. Some guy sees I have my online sportsbook app, illegal at the time, pulled up. He's like, oh, what you on today? And he's like, oh, I'm on the other side. He got blackout drunk and kept yelling reverse line movement every time UCF picked up a first down. I was ready to murder. I was like, we have to leave or I'm going to jail. This guy keeps yelling reverse line movement to me over and over again.
I want to be that guy's friend. That's an incredible troll job.
He just kept yelling. I was like, I hope. No, I'm not going to say it on the air, but I hope bad things happen to him on the way home. That's all I'll say.
Imagine just yelling at someone reverse line movement. Like, what's next? Bet splits? What are you going to yell?
Here's a weird one. I want to go to a Cooperstown Hall of Fame induction of a player that I grew up watching.
Oh, I thought you say a player that you bet on to win an award. like, I'll be there for the Aaron Judge Cooperstown Hall of Fame as he made me a rich man in 2024.
So I guess I have a little bit of waiting to do as a Mets fan because it's going to be a minute, but
a little bit.
I guess Carlos Beltran this year, right? Carlos Beltran
is he on the He's on the ballot this year?
No, he's in. He got in.
Oh, he got in. Okay, well, because the induction's like next month or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, clearly I'm locked in on when they do this whole thing. But the fun submissions that we have gotten from all of the people. Jim Campbell says that as a hockey fan, he'd like to go see the Battle of Alberta, Edmonton, and Calgary in the playoffs. That would be a fun one. Colin Murphy, a loyal listener and viewer, he says the Derby would obviously be sick. That's like a very I feel like. What is that? Not a hipster, opposite of hipster, a very popular submission there. But he said that not even as a NASCAR fan, but Daytona 500 would be on his bucket list. I don't know if the Daytona 500 is like a popular bucket list.
I think it should be. It should be.
It probably should be, yeah, because it's one of the marquee event on the calendar for NASCAR.
It's their Super Bowl. Also, it's a race where anything can happen, where the field is evened up because, it's a super speedway and they go at crazy speeds and it's a huge track. And Daytona is the epicenter of racing.
Yeah, 100% is. Last one there in terms of people that are like rooting against your bets. It was the Elite Eight. I was on the wrong end of this one. That was like when the guy was like, I don't think this is going to hit. That was Texas Tech. Was it Texas Tech, Florida that played in the Elite Eight a couple years ago?
Yeah.
When Florida won the national title eventually. And like I was on the under and I'm just like sitting there like bro, like leave me alone. Because he could just tell that I was on something, and he asked, and I told him, and it's just like, all right, man, leave me alone. I don't want to talk.
But now I want to do this. I just want to go to sports books and ask people what they're on, and then just bet against all of those people. Like whatever, like the consensus is, I go on the other side.
Don't even bet. Just troll them.
Just root against.
Just troll them. Like one guy did once at Red Rock here during the Elite Eight. It was Villanova and Houston. And Houston had just beat Arizona in the Sweet 16. That was like the first Tommy Lloyd. That was like the Benedict Mathurin Arizona team. And of course, it was in Tommy Lloyd fashion. They lost as a favorite. But then like the guy who's like the only guy in the sportsbook that bet Nova, because everyone was like on Houston after Houston beat Arizona, and he's just chanting Nova Nation. All of y'all were on Houston. I'm just like, dude. And I had no money on the game, so I was just like sitting there, just observing it, being like, bro, you're a clown. But anyways, enough of all those stories. What you should be locked in on though is a VSiN Pro subscription. Make sure you did nothing clown about that. This is the real deal stuff, and we're giving it to you at a discounted price. Get a load of this. It's normally $240. Now you can get it for $199. And when you sign up today, we'll give you 2 extra months free. That's 14 months of VSiN Pro for less than 50 cents a day with promo code PRO. You're going to get access to the daily best bets from the VSiN hosts and guests, the real-time DraftKings and Circa betting splits, the AI-powered prop tools, 24/7 video and show replays, plus all our special edition betting guides for every major sport throughout the year. This offer ends soon, so head to VSiN.com/subscribe and use promo code PRO. That's VSIN.com/subscribe.
All right, let me do everyone a favor. You don't know about the Opta AI player prop projections? Well, VSiN.com/NBA props. You can see points, rebounds, assists, all the combinations, three-pointers made, steals, blocks. It's all available. This one just jumped out to me looking at the website. Isaiah Joe, second biggest edge to the over on his points prop tonight, 18.2% to the over. The line for Isaiah Joe's 3.5 points. Is that right? Like, wow. That is crazy.
He could easily knock down 2 threes in like 2 minutes.
Well, especially if Jalen Williams not playing in this game, right? We're anticipating he's likely not going to be able to give it a go. Opta AI has Isaiah Joe over 3.5 points. They have him going for 4.62. Now, their number one edge that they have over there is De'Aaron Fox. Now, assuming he plays, his point prop is 14.5. They have him going for 17.71. That's 27.2% to the over on De'Aaron Fox. VSiN.com/NBA props.
Make sure you take advantage of that. There, Dustin perfectly laid out how you can use those tools to become a profitable bettor. Speaking of that game 3, Thunder at the Spurs. 3 key injuries. Jalen Williams, who you just mentioned, he is listed as questionable, dealing with a hamstring injury. This one to the left hamstring, which is the same hamstring that he injured in Game 2 against the Phoenix Suns in the first round. On the opposite side, you have 2 guards, De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, probably your primary ball handlers there for San Antonio. Both of them questionable. Fox with the high ankle sprain, according to ESPN's Shams Charania, and then Dylan Harper with the right adductor soreness is what they are calling it. Harper, he looked like he wanted to go back into the game during Game 2, but then the Spurs training staff, not a member of FanDuel, it was the Spurs training staff that told him, hey, man, go back out there or go back to the back of the locker room. Like, we're all good here. Like, you're not going to come back into this game.
No, we don't know the status right now. So in anticipation of that, I just went back and looked. Last 3 games without Dylan Harper. Stephon Castle's rebounds and assists is something I really want to do here. So I paid a little bit of juice on this one. I went over 12.5 rebounds and assists. 2 out of the last 3, he's cleared this number, 15, 17, and 7 on the RA. I also think if Dylan Harper plays, if De'Aaron Fox plays, they've got lower body injuries. How much are they really going to be running around playing that same role? Feels like maybe a role reversal. Castle more of the facilitator. Let those guys play off the ball to some degree and knock down some shots. So I went minus 141 juice over 12.5 RA in anticipation of that on that end of the floor. And then my question becomes, if they don't play, is there someone who gets more minutes? Is it a Harrison Barnes? Is it a Carter Bryant? We had John Metler on earlier who said he likes Devin Vassell as potential points prop as well. And I saw that that's a trendy like first quarter play as well, Vassell to go over his points prop. That intrigues me, but Castle, even though the number has already been adjusted because we're expecting limitations from Fox and Harper, it just feels like it's Castle type of game, coming back home, doing everything.
Who do you think needs this game more?
Oh, I think Oklahoma City needs it because the split to begin this. And I think for the Thunder, like, it's the first team that has shown weakness in the last calendar year that they've played against, right? Yeah. San Antonio is that one kryptonite that they have that's had their number in the regular season, that has a player that they really don't have a matchup for. We're going to San Antonio where all of a sudden you give a young team life in the Spurs. They go up 2-1. It'll be the first time we see the Thunder on their heels in a very long time.
In my opinion, I think San Antonio has been the better team in the first 2 games. And I know OKC covered game 2, but like that felt like that was one of those spots where like, oh, like the team down 0-1 at home, they're going to cover, they're going to run away with this. It was not that. It was, oh, Thunder get out to a lead, Spurs right back. Thunder get out to a lead, Spurs right back. Like they had to work for what seemed like an obvious bounce back spot. If they can get somewhat healthy, I think San Antonio should win this series. I really do.
Yeah, and I think Wembanyama's constitution is built a little bit differently. Like,
he's a killer.
He's a dude off a loss that I'd be terrified of. Like, so even if Oklahoma City wins this one, I see the Spurs bouncing right back.
Yeah, he's a killer. I think we're in for a monster game tonight. And imagine Sunday night when one of these teams is down 2-1, not wanting to go down 3-1. Man, I love this series. I hope it goes 7 games. We will break down this series and more when we come back here on Follow the Money.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We are heavily anticipating what will be a monster Game 3 in the Western Conference Finals in the NBA. Welcome back. This is Follow the Money. He's Dustin Sweetelson. I'm Femi Bedfe here with you guys on this Friday. Hope everyone is, if you're traveling or whatever, safe travels to you. Enjoy the weekend, extended weekend for all of you guys out there. It should be a fun weekend. Always a great weekend in sports. Memorial Day weekend as we officially kick off summer. And we got a couple of games that are awesome tonight. OKC San Antonio, where the betting market right now has that Spurs 1.5 point favorites. But where we sit right now here at Circa, they're laying 2. I said it in the last segment. I think if San Antonio is healthy, they will win this series. Do you agree with that opinion, or how are you betting the series knotted up at 1 game apiece?
Oh, I think this series is a coin flip. I really think it's that even. Yeah. Just the experience factor for the Thunder, the depth factor for OKC. I think that plays a huge role here. But for San Antonio, they do have a little bit of that, like, we're too young and too inexperienced, too dumb to know what we should and shouldn't be able to do.
Youthful naivete.
And you got Victor Wembanyama, who still hasn't even touched his potential yet. Like, he's not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid of the shots. He knows what's on the line here in terms of not just this series and this game, but his entire legacy as a player. He wants to be ahead of the curve, and he wants the moment. That's the thing that stands out to me the most watching him. And by the way, it's not like SGA and company have been like, look, they've been dominant. Don't get me wrong. But Phoenix and the Lakers, this is a bit different in terms of competition. He has a negative 35.6 net rating on-off this year in the playoffs. That's the lowest of any qualified player still alive. He only has one 30-point game. It was game 2 of this series. It's not like SGA has been that dude, and the complaining about the falls and the landing and hitting the ground. It's like, at some point does that narrative just start to like get into the background of the mindset of these refs, and he doesn't get away with some of the calls that he's gotten recently?
We give OKC the rightful credit for having championship grit because they've done it. They've climbed to the top of the mountain. They won the title last year. But to go along with your point there, you go back and look at that title run that they went on. It was a banged up Denver Aaron Gordon kind of tore off his hamstring from the bone. Like, Denver took him to 7 games. It was the Indiana Pacers who took him to 7 games, who were a really good team. Pacers were on like that magic carpet ride, but who knows how that game 7 plays out if Halliburton doesn't pop his Achilles. Like there have been, this wasn't like the 2001 Lakers now coming back to defend their title. Like OKC has had to kind of go through these wars. So while on paper and also with your eyes, they look like a phenomenal basketball team, they're not untouchable. And I think the Spurs have shown that in these first 2 games.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of key contributing factors. One, it's the turnovers. If San Antonio can clean up the turnovers, now you could give credit to Oklahoma City for creating those, but the Thunder are scoring a ton off of turnovers right now. 23 turnovers in game 1, 21 in game 2, 55 points off of turnovers for the Thunder. Castle's had 20. If he can just dial it back and coming back home theoretically, he should be able to cut back on some of the turnovers.
Just have 6
here.
turnovers tonight.
Yeah, I think that is a huge advantage on the side of San Antonio here if they can just limit that. Easier said than done. And then the role player conversation, why I kind of started that with you earlier, is that Oklahoma City's got a lot of guys you can trust on in that role spot. You got Caruso. You got A.J. Mitchell, who's probably going to be bumped up to a starter with J-Dub potentially out of the lineup. Isaiah Joe, Kason Wallace. I mean, they have so many role guys who can step up for them. Does San Antonio have that depth if they don't have De'Aaron Fox? If they don't have potentially Dylan Harper in this game, do they have guys who can step up? That's going to be huge here tonight.
Yeah, and usually when you're at home, it's easier for those guys to step up.
Yes.
Like Shaq always talks about this on Inside the NBA, like the role players, the Shaq calls them the others. Like those guys play better at home with that home crowd, and that's how you get Caruso dropping 30 points at home. Will Caruso drop 30 over there in San Antonio? I'd guess no. But we'll see. I mean, he's a really good player, one of the best role players. Let's have that role player conversation here because I think it's so fun to think back on. And so I didn't use any guys who are current. And for those of you that are just joining us now, Dustin and I were made a list of guys that we think are all-time NBA role players. And how we define role players loosely, we're like, hey, guys who average 15 or less points per game and never made an all-star. So you can't like Lamar Odom. I saw some people talking Lamar Odom. Yeah. I'm like, Lamar Odom was a damn good player. He ain't a role player.
Yeah, I wanted to include Horace Grant. He's probably right on that. He's made one all-star. Yeah, he's right over the edge.
Yeah, so think about it in that lens. So players who never really averaged 15 points per game and guys who were never all-stars but came up with big moments. So I didn't do a traditional starting 5.
Yeah, you can't.
Because to me, it's like the NBA, which, by the way, the All-NBA team's coming out on Sunday, or maybe tomorrow if Shams decides to break it. But the All-NBA team now is positionless basketball. So, that's how I looked at it. And you texted us this last night, hey, who are the best role players of all time, coming off the heels of the Josh Hart game last night and the Alex Caruso game earlier this week. Robert Horry, to me, is at the top of my list.
Yeah, he's the first name that comes to mind.
Number one pick, right? Has to be.
Big shot Bob. All he did was hit game-winning big-time shots.
There was game 5 in the finals back in 2005 with the Spurs. Obviously, there was the game 4, 2002 Western Conference Finals, where the Lakers were on the ropes against that Kings team. He knocks down the 3 to even up the series at 2 games apiece. I mean, even in Houston, the Rockets, he had big moments there as well. Like Robert Horry, 7-time NBA champion. Robert Horry, I think, is your number one role player. Who else did you have on your list there?
And multiple teams for him.
Yes, multiple teams.
Bruce Bowen would be the next one that jumps out to me, right? Lockdown defender, 3 rings, 5-time all-defender, but had to go up against Kobe, or LeBron, Vince Carter, all these elite guys with supreme athleticism that could do a little bit of everything. To me, you look back on the Spurs team. I know it's Ginobili and Duncan and all these other dudes. I don't know if it happens without Bowen. He is the ultimate glue in the middle of all those superstars.
I tell you what, this version of the Spurs could use a Bruce Bowen to maybe kick one of those OKC guys that's trying to tangle up Wemby. Bruce Bowen, he would let those flims go. Yeah. He starts kicking guys every now and then. Go back and look at that on YouTube if you want. Another guy for me, and I don't think he's under the radar, but I don't think we talk enough about the moments that he had in the playoffs. Derek Fisher.
I have him on the list, too.
I thought Derek Fisher was a phenomenal role player. 5-time champion, all of them with the Lakers. Everyone remembers the shot against San Antonio with 0.4 seconds to go. He had that moment there back in, I believe that was 2004. But the 2009 NBA Finals, I thought it's an underrated one against Orlando. Game 4, that game goes to overtime. He's knocking down big 3 after big 3 against the Magic to give the Lakers a 3-1 lead.
All right, I'm going to throw another one your way. This one is personality-based. I think you have to have unique personalities that keep a locker room fresh and calm and have a veteran presence. And that's why John Sally, I think, needs to be in the conversation.
He almost made my list. If you want a center, John Sally.
If you need to get 5 rings, bad boy Pistons, 96 Bulls, 2000 Lakers, but like you just know you have a guy on the end of that bench that's going to be able to relate to everyone, speak to everyone, be extension of the coaching staff, and when you need minutes, he's going to get it done as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, phenomenal media personality as well. Best damn sports show, period, all that stuff. Like,
Legendary.
He had a legendary career in media, and is still hanging out with us here. So yeah, I had Bowen on my list. I had Steve Kerr on my list for role players. Obviously, was a part of the second three-peat with the Chicago Bulls. Also won a couple titles with the Spurs. How about Steve Kerr winning 4 straight titles? 96, 97, 98, 99. Like, not many people do that.
That's true.
Like, he was, if you wanted a nice point guard off the bench, could knock down threes, has the big moment in the 97 finals when Jordan gave him the ball, similar to the John Paxson moment in 93. Jordan passed it to Kerr in game 6 of 97 against Utah. He knocks that down, so he had to make my list.
I thought about Ron Harper because Ron Harper also had moments, though, where like he was a go-to guy early in his career, but eventually with the Bulls became a role guy.
With the Lakers, too. That 2000 Lakers team, Ron Harper, as Phil Jackson was bringing some of those guys back together.
How about a couple recent guys? Danny Green.
Really good role player.
Danny Green, Toronto and San Antonio, won 2 rings there, 3-time champion overall.
I forgot about the Toronto
could defend. Like, Danny Green, like, kind of exactly what you're looking for. Now, in today's NBA, I tried to come up with my own 5 of role guys that I love. I could only get to 4. You tell me if you have any issues with these 4. Because they could play for my team any day of the week. Josh Hart, and Alex Caruso helped start this conversation. Bobby Portis. I love Bobby Portis.
Yeah.
You
got the crazy eyes.
I'm looking for that type of dude off the bench. And then Derek White. Not great for Boston in the playoffs this year, but Derek White is a role guy. Do you consider him a role guy, though?
Can I give you another one to round out your starting 5?
Do it.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Boom.
Like,
Perfect.
DiVincenzo, I love him.
Way better than I anticipated on both ends.
Which is funny because back in college, wasn't he the most outstanding player in the Final Four for Villanova? Like, he had a hell of a Final Four for that Nova team that won the title against Michigan way back when. But like DiVincenzo, what I love, and like what all these guys have in common, they're not scared of the moment.
No.
Like, they are not scared. They come up, they have moments in the playoffs. DiVincenzo on that Bucks team, even on the Knicks teams before they traded him in the Karl Anthony Towns trade, like even with the Wolves prior to him blowing out his Achilles this postseason, he always shows up in big moments. I love Dante DiVincenzo. A handful of other guys, though, that are older, that are no longer playing. Shane Battier is another great role player. Udonis Haslem.
That's a great one.
Like, he was a phenomenal role player. And how about this one? I don't think many people would bring him up. Tayshaun Prince.
Ooh.
Like, only won 1 title, but was a really good role player on those Pistons teams. That was like the bad boy Redux, the 2.0 version for Detroit.
All right. I would say Vinnie Johnson with the bad boys. The microwave. Michael Cooper with the Lakers. And then my last one, Tony Allen. With those Celtics
he was on
teams.
my list.
Tony Allen was a dude. Those guys don't exist anymore. Just elite perimeter defenders. That's all you do. Put them on the other team's best player. Don't even care what they do offensively.
Last one for me, Mario Elie, the Houston Rockets. You want to go back to the 90s with a little blow the kiss against the Phoenix Suns in that Game 7. Many NBA role players, and all of them not scared of the moment. We're not scared either. Because on the other side, we're stepping up to the plate, giving you some baseball bets for the 640 games that are about to get underway. That's coming up next here on Follow the Money.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, we've got some baseball that's about to get underway on the East Coast. The 640 Eastern slate. 10 minutes away from that. So, Dustin, I'll let you lead us off here. What do you like in Major League Baseball? This is Follow the Money, by the way, as you heard in the open.
Yeah, I got a couple plays here in these early ones. The first one about to start is Cleveland at Philly. So, Gavin Williams on the bump on one side, plus $1.53. Christopher Sanchez the other way, a minus 186 favorite. This total has ticked down a bit. I went under 7 earlier today. I paid a little bit of juice on that. I think it was minus 120-ish, I want to say. But I like the under 7 in this game. If you can find a 7 out there at 6.5, I'd still consider it. You got Sanchez coming into this game, 24 straight scoreless innings, 30 strikeouts. Cleveland actually is pretty good against lefties, but I do think Sanchez is like in a different stratosphere of just like normal lefties that we're accounting for.
Sanchez is legit.
Williams isn't as good on the road as he is at home, but it's not. I don't know about Philly's offense. It's improving, but I don't know if they're quite at the level that they need to be here. I think this is a spot where pitching prevails deep into this game. We stay under the total of 7 because Cleveland doesn't want it to be a high-scoring affair, nor do I think they're capable of doing that against Sanchez. So I'm going under 7 in this contest, if you can find it.
All right. Is that your only play for the games that are about to start at 6:40? Because we have the 7 o'clock games that we'll give out during in-pocket plays in the next segment here.
Isn't there one more game? For some reason,
there's a Cardinals-Reds game that also is at 6:40.
I'm on the Cardinals team total in this one. We went over 4.5, minus 125. So for starters, for some reason that game's off the board, though. I don't know what happened.
Do we have a delay?
Oh, postponed.
Oh, come on. Are you serious?
Damn.
Not even delayed, just straight up postponed?
Yeah, that was a good one. Kyle Leahy, and it was Chris Paddock, his second start with the Reds.
Tomorrow.
Fade Chris Paddock.
Well,
that's what we do here.
Yeah, well, those were a couple of my bets, so I guess you can scratch those ones off. As I was actually, you were on the fade Chris Paddock train. I was actually going to bet Chris Paddock. I like the Reds' first 5 a little bit, just because I think he's been unlucky. The traditional metrics, it's not good.
No.
When you go under the hood. Chris Paddock, probably one of the most unlucky pitchers that we have in the bigs, but it's neither here nor there anymore. I also like Spencer Steer to hit a home run, but that does not matter. So I have one play. It is in that Guardians-Phillies game. Let's go with Bryce Harper to hit a home run. Plus 440. The swing of his life. Shout out to Joe Davis. I think Bryce Harper. Gavin Williams, you mentioned on the road. He has not been as good as he is at home. He's also a guy that, he's finding the barrels, man. And as a pitcher, you don't want to be pitching to too much contact. And I think the Phillies, they're onto something ever since Donnie Baseball has taken over as the manager. I like Bryce Harper today. So Bryce Harper plus 440, which I got here at Circa. I'm not sure what the number is out there in the rest of the market, but plus 440 on Bryce Harper to go yard over there at Citizen Bank Ballpark.
Yeah, look, Gavin Williams is a guy who was really good the second half of last year. It carried over somewhat into this year. Taking a couple steps back, a few starts here now. I still like the stuff for him. Sanchez is the big conversation because it seemingly he was a guy with a live arm, but I don't think anyone ever anticipated him being like a top 5 pitcher in baseball. Legitimately there. You can't even doubt it anymore. The run that he's on, 24 straight scoreless innings, as I mentioned. He does it against everybody. I kind of want to take Cleveland plus $1.53 on a flyer, just in the fact that they can hit lefties to some degree, but I'm going to stay with my under. My under is the way I'm looking at attacking that game, as that unfortunately is the only one in the early window of these games about to get going in about 7 minutes.
So those are our bets for the 6:40 Eastern games. I'm looking at my phone right now to see if we've gotten any injury news in the NBA because the market's on the move here.
Is it?
In Game 3.
Let's see.
Tip-off in about a couple hours between the Thunder and the Spurs.
Nothing.
Where we sit right now at Circa, the Spurs are down to a 1-point favorite. This was 2 last segment when we were discussing this game. There was a lot of money on San Antonio, but now we're coming back here on the defending champions. So we're down to 1 at Circa. 1.5 is still your consensus number, but someone has come in, especially at these Vegas shops, Circa, Westgate, South Point. It is on the move right now. 1 at Circa, 1.5 at those other 2 spots. Total still at 218.5. I'm looking at the injury report right now. The latest information is still all 3 of those guys, Jalen Williams, De'Aaron Fox for the Spurs, Dylan Harper for the Spurs, all 3 of them still listed as questionable, but someone out there pretty confident in the defending champs to take a 2-1 series lead.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any breaking news. I checked out a few different
notifications
accounts here, but
maybe he's working on breaking the All-NBA team.
But with the injuries up in the air, it does lead a little bit of potential for an upset with the game leader props to me. I just think SGA, as I mentioned, first 30-point game was game 2 of this series. He's the favorite to lead the game in scoring at minus 140. Wemby's plus $1.90. I think that makes sense, but I want some long shots. Could Castle, with him potentially being so ball dominant in this game, 12-1, a focus on being physical with Wemby, could that open up shots for Stephon Castle, a young player at home, or maybe an AJ Mitchell, 20-1 to lead the game in scoring, fills into the J-Dub role. We saw them just funnel the ball to him, let him knock down shots in the previous series this postseason. Could I think AJ Mitchell of those options is the one that I kind of want to look at.
What have you thought of him so
no,
far
good.
in this series? Yeah, it's been
good.
bad.
Yeah.
And I've been watching AJ Mitchell. I'm like, is this product of now going against a better team, or did you just have 2 bad games? Because he was out here living his life against the Lakers and the Suns. But this is much different than that.
I think it's the J-Dub role, and I don't want to say it despairingly about Jalen Williams.
Oh, you're gonna say they're better without him?
No, I'm just saying I think it's a product of everything there being in that spot and being able to knock down threes. Like, you're in a perfect situation. That's why, like, if they were to trade him, I don't think they miss a beat next year. Yeah. And I think AJ Mitchell getting to step up into that spot, it just funnels more potential offense because the focus you have to have on SGA. I'm probably not betting it, but that is someone I consider. Rebounding leader, I don't think you can do anything there. Wembanyama exists. He's minus $4 in terms of that market. But assist leader is interesting. Castle's plus 120. SGA's plus 160. Fox is 4.5 to 1. Mitchell 18 to 1. Harper 20 to 1. Wemby's 28 to 1. I don't know if there's something there Wemby could facilitate. I don't know.
Is there another guy that's long? Because based on market movement, I'm starting to be skeptical of whether Harper or Fox are going to play.
Yes.
So like, this might be an opportunity to bet into a market where these guys who they should be zeros. And you're telling, because what did you say Fox was 4 to 1?
Yeah,
He might not even play tonight.
Fox is 4.5. Harper's 20. Castle, though, plus $1.20 is the favorite. Maybe it's just straight assist props we're looking at, because someone's going to have to step up and just give Castle a breath if those two guys don't go. Someone else is going to have more dimes. Is it Champagnie, who, by the way, is way nicer of a player than I ever gave him credit for? Like, he's not anything special, but like, he's a solid performer across the board. Could it be Champagnie over 1.5 dimes? Keldon Johnson plus 171, over 1.5 assists, or Devin Vassell over 2.5 assists, minus 113. I don't hate that. Looking at Vassell's performance without Harper the last 3 games, 5-3-0, 9-5-3, 23-4. What I say it was over 2.5 assists. Yeah. He went over 2.5 assists in 2 of those 3 games.
That sounds like an angle to me that we could bet on here.
I don't hate it.
I'm interested in that index prop though for the assist leaders, because like if we have guys who are listed that might not play, and like we don't know for sure the injury status of these guys. They're all listed as game time decisions, especially Dylan Harper. But I mean, based on the market movement with the side, as Caesars here locally is now at 2. Were they 2.5, or where were they at before?
No.
It looks like they just changed it. They've been hanging out at 2, so it's now minus 110 each way, as opposed to minus 115 in favor of San Antonio. But we're seeing here at Circa, it is down to 1. Who knows? Like, and if we get the official word, like let's say Fox and Harper are both out. I mean, are we pick? Are we Thunder slight favorite?
Yeah.
Like this, because like it doesn't take a lot to go from -1 to +1, you know, like that's like you're still hanging around that 50-ish percentage there. So like it's not like it would be a massive move. It's not like you're going from 5 to 2.5. But it's still, I think there's a chance that OKC could go off as the favorite if the Spurs end up with bad news on the injury front.
All right, what about the total? The series is 2-0 to the over, but is that really 2-0 to the over? Because one of them was a double overtime over, which barely ended up getting there. Over's 5-1 last 6 at San Antonio since 24. Spurs 5-1 against the spread last 6 to the first half spread hosting Oklahoma City. First half on a 4-2 overrun between these two teams. Despite saying the word over a lot, the last 3 sentences, I like the under, because if there's injuries, it just figures that these two teams will want to slow it up. When it's to a ball handler, specifically for San Antonio, you're going to want to slow it up when you've had issues with turnovers and you don't trust the guy bringing the ball up. I feel like that makes for a slower tempo. And
also you want to slow down because you don't have the depth.
Yes.
Like you don't want to be playing in a game that's going to be getting out in transition. My only issue, though, with that is that, man, I think the turnovers are going to stay there.
I agree.
It's like, hey, like Castle, stop turning the ball over. Also, Castle, defend SGA. Like we're asking a lot of Stephon Castle here in year 2. I don't think he's just being reckless and just turning the ball over for bleeps and giggles. Like, it's because he's exhausted.
Yeah.
And he's going up against the best defensive team in terms of ball pressure in the NBA. OKC getting out in transition is why I'd be scared of backing that under.
Yeah, I understand. I lean the under. I'm not going to get there with the under. Mark Daigneault, by the way, 3-4 against the spread when tied in a playoff series, which is kind of surprising. 5-2 to the under when tied in a playoff series. And as a road dog of 6 or less, 34-20 against the spread. So give him credit for covering. I mean, catching one here and essentially a pick 'em. Mitch Johnson, 9-4 against the spread, 8-5 to the over this postseason. 3-0 against the spread, 3-0 to the over when tied in a playoff series. I kind of lean under, but not enough for me to get there.
Man. It's an interesting betting market here. I was going into this thinking that I was going to bet Oklahoma City. Now that we've seen the movement, and if we get a bad injury report on San Antonio, I might just pass the game and just bet this thing live. And I don't mean that as a cop-out, because I do like the live bet, but it's just too tricky of a side and total for me, I think, right now. You don't have to force a play. I'll have a play in the hockey game, though. We'll get into that our baseball plays as well, as we have in-pocket plays coming up next to wrap up this edition of Follow the Money.
He knows the quarterback was on coke if his girlfriend was knocked up.
These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your unborn children's children on these games.
I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
All right, let's get to in-pocket plays here on Follow the Money as we wrap up the program. Femi Betfair, Dustin Sweelson. I will go first here with my plays, Dustin. We'll start in Major League Baseball because I'm going to go in order of the graphic that we have currently posted up there right now. The Athletics and the Padres. Give me the Padres first 5 on the money line. I'm back in Walker Buehler. I know I'm one of the few people that likes Walker Buehler this year. I think he's a little bit unlucky. ERA 5.01, FIP 3.73. I think that balances out a little bit. Give me this Padres team against the Athletics. They're going to lick the wounds of the Dodgers loss. They're going to come back home and take care of business against the A's. Also, in the Mariners-Royals game over in Kansas City, I'm going to go with the first 5 under. Logan Gilbert coming off a brutal start. Like him to bounce back. Noah Cameron, been a little bit mediocre over the stretch run here, but I think he's got some good stuff. I think it just sets up as a game that is going to have fewer runs than what the market expects. That's the first 5 under 4 at even money between the M's and the Royals. I also like Mark Vientos of the Mets to hit a homer, plus 550. Vientos has been struggling this season, but now we're getting to the price where it's just a little enticing. You're giving me plus 550. Meanwhile, Yuri Perez, that guy's been a little shaky. So I like this matchup here. So Mark Vientos to touch them all at plus 550. Finally tonight in Major League Baseball in the Bronx, I'm going to go with the Rays-Yankees first 5 over 4. It's at minus 125. I just can't wait to watch the series. I know we're all excited for Garrett Cole. Good to see him back. But one of the things that I like to do is fade pitchers who are making their debuts. Hasn't pitched in the big league since the 2024 World Series. Also, Nick Martinez, he's been dealing recently. I think he regresses a little against this Yankee lineup. So give me the first 5 over 4, minus 125. And then finally tonight on the ice, let's light the lamp. Over 6 between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche, minus 115. Part of me believes that Colorado's going to win this game without Cale Makar, but I bet him in game 1. I don't want to go back to that one. I think Colorado, though, offensively, they come alive. Vegas will try to do their best to keep up, but I like the over in this game. Over 6 for me on the ice.
All right, my turn here. Where are we going to start? We're going to start with the NBA. Let's go.
Yeah, baby.
Thunder Spurs game 3. I know he has not looked very good this series, but I'm going to go AJ Mitchell over 21.5 PRA. As soon as the news came out that J-Dub may not play in this game, his PRA did jump from 19.5 to 21.5. I was monitoring it, regretted not getting that good number. But you go back last series, no J-Dub against the Lakers, 35, 38, 29, and 24. Against the Suns, 32 and 23 without J-Dub in the lineup. Give me that all day long. I think AJ Mitchell just slots into that role and gets a ton of shots to take here on the road in San Antonio. I also added Stephon Castle during the show, over 12.5 rebounds and assists, minus 141. I'm assuming either one of Harper or Fox isn't in. That's more facilitating on the hands of Stephon Castle for that game. So now as far as baseball is concerned, let's begin with that Seattle-Kansas City game, because as you mentioned, Noah Cameron pitching for the Royals. And a guy who's made a living off being a lefty killer would be Rob Refsnyder, the utility outfielder, infielder, whatever you want to call him for Seattle. I went over a half a hit run RBI earlier today, minus 150. I just saw it got moved to 1.5 plus 125. I love the plus 125. I do think he goes off. I took a little nibble, plus 575 to hit a homer. All this guy does is hit lefties. That's his one job as a player. I love him in this spot against Cameron, who really has not been great and doesn't have overpowering stuff. Pitches to contact. So give me that in that game. Nats Braves. Really good pitching matchup to go over. Miles Michaelis will come in bulk relief. 6.91 ERA on the year. He did shut out Atlanta last year in 6 innings, but he's facing Atlanta, who's second in runs per game this season. Bryce Elder on the other side. Good this year, but last time he faced Washington, it was a 9-4 game. Atlanta won. He pitches to contact. Nats put the ball in play. The Nats bullpen is horrendous. I love getting even money on the over 9 in that contest. The White Sox have Davis Martin taking on the Giants and McDonald. McDonald's been good, Davis Martin's been a stud, and I trust the offense for the White Sox more,
Wow,
which
what a
is a
sentence.
crazy sentence to say. But over the last 35, 40 days, they've been one of the better offenses in all of baseball. Currently sweating out the Guardians and the Phils under 7, and we're about to complete a full inning, it looks like.
Has Harper hit a homer yet?
2 out in the bottom of the first, as it's Williams versus Sanchez. So we are 1/9 of the way potentially home to getting our under 7. And then I'm looking at Baltimore with Chris Bassett on the bump. This guy, no matter where he pitches, the A's, Toronto, the Mets, now the Orioles, he is so much better at home than he is on the road. 2.91 home ERA versus 8.02 on the road this year. Tigers are falling apart. As bad as Baltimore's been, the Tigers are more disappointing big picture. So I'm going to back Bassett, pitching at home, taking on Jack Flaherty, who's allowed 19 hits in his last 18 and a third innings. Tigers 0-5 his last 5 starts. He's got an 8.41 ERA over that course of time. Tigers' 6-game losing streak, I think, gets expanded to 7 on the road at Camden.
All right, those are your plays for tonight?
I believe that's all of them.
Hey, we're firing here on a Friday. That's the best way to go into a holiday weekend. Shout out to all of you guys celebrating this weekend, the extended weekend here on Memorial Day. All right, with all those plays, I want to remind everybody, the sports calendar never stops, and the Sharp Plays covers it all. And they've been winning for 15 straight years. All of it documented. Logs posted publicly at sharpplays.com. That kind of transparency, that's rare in this business, I'll tell you that. When the Sharp Plays moves, the sportsbooks take notice. Advanced AI, trusted insider intel, they find the value before the numbers shift. Respected, watched, feared. Start winning with them at sharpplays.com.
Have some news here via Mitch Johnson, it looks like. De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper remain game time decisions per Coach Johnson. This just being tweeted out. Johnson on their status is, quote, "It's close." That is not helpful at all in any way, shape, or form.
Bro, you're the coach. You make the decision.
No, also, I wouldn't reveal anything. If they were playing, I wouldn't say anything. If they weren't, like, I know we as bettors, we get annoyed because it hurts us with our bets.
Do you think the Thunder would be unprepared regardless of situation?
No, but I
like they're ready.
no.
What is this? Is this sleight of hand? Like, what are we doing?
No, I still wouldn't give them the information till the last possible second.
I mean, I guess. I'm just, I mean, like, hey, like, we have a contingency. Like, guess what? If those guys don't play, we're about to blitz the hell out of them like we did in the second half of last game. And if they do play, guess what? We have our game plan ready to roll. I don't know. I think that stuff sometimes it gets a little overrated. Like the coaches in college football, like, don't tape practice, bro. We have you on film. like, what are we talking about here? So how about you execute, huh? Part of that note, though, in terms of Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox, Michael C. Wright of ESPN about 40 minutes ago tweeted out a video of Dylan Harper going through warmups. He said Dylan Harper looks good to him. He is not a doctor. He might have stayed at a Motel 6 last night, but he is at least saying that Dylan Harper looks good.
Hot take. I'd rather Dylan Harper play than Fox.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there's a level of Harper that is being unlocked in these big pressure moments. And I'll come back to this every single time we bring up Dylan Harper. Him and Ace Bailey were on Rutgers, and they didn't make the NCAA tournament. Steve Peichel, how the heck does he keep his job? You had these two guys, you didn't make the tournament? Me and Femi could be out there. You should be able to make the tournament.
I guess they spent too much money on Harper and Bailey, and then the rest of the roster was just a bunch of scrubs.
Dude, Harper's awesome.
It was the pickup run over at the Rutgers Rec Center. That's what they had on the team.
I love what I've seen from Harper, and I think they're reaching a point where, like, you just have to unleash him. I hope he's good enough to go. I hope he was held out because of precaution, but he contributes across the board. And those 11 rebounds in game one were freaking crucial for them winning that game.
Yeah, I think Harper's their second best player. If I were in an ideal world, if I'm Mitch Johnson, Harper and Fox are healthy, I'm starting Harper, and I have Fox coming off the bench as like that offensive spark. So you go Fox and Keldon Johnson, who Keldon Johnson won 6th Man of the Year, by the way. Like, you have those guys be your offensive spark off the bench, but Harper is the guy that's playing the minutes who you match up with SGA, so you can throw Harper and Castle at him.
I got 2 X factors in the game. One, it's the turnovers. Sloppiness with San Antonio. It's led to a ton of points the other way for Oklahoma City. The third is we go back to San Antonio, where Isaiah Hartenstein was irrelevant in game 1. And in game 2, he was pulling hair. He was throwing elbows. He was very physical with Wembanyama. Do we believe the league is going to allow him to do the same thing with Wemby going back home? I don't think Hartenstein makes the same impact in this game. I considered unders on some of his bets. I didn't get home just in case the league allows it, because remember, the league likes dynasties. Dynasties are a good thing for the NBA, but I don't think Hartenstein gets the same really soft whistle here in game 3.
What is the series score after Sunday? after games 3 and 4?
I think we're tied up.
Tied at 2, going back to
I
OKC
think
for a best of 3.
We're going 7. We're going 7. It feels inevitable. These teams are so close to each other, and then one's got an alien.
I think if Fox and Harper are healthy, we're going 3-1 back to OKC. San Antonio's up. If those guys are not healthy and they're not playing, I actually think we're going 3-1 back to OKC with the Thunder up. I think these injuries are that crucial. So like San Antonio, if they're healthy, they will win. If those guys are not healthy, this is quicker than we all think.
And the Knicks have not lost since April 23rd. Will they lose a game this weekend?
We're going back 2-2 to the Garden.
Oh, he's still high on the Cavs.
Just got to make shots. Going to Kenny Atkinson. Just got to make our shots. We got good shot quality. Kenny Atkinson, I can't wait for his second act as a college basketball tout.
I would say that is the number one achievement. If you want to win games, you do have to make more shots.
You do have to make shots. All right, we made shots, hopefully, at least in your guys' eyes. In our eyes, we did. So whatever you think, doesn't care. But thank you for hanging out with us here on Follow the Money. For Dustin Sweetelson, for Luke DeVasa, our entire crew behind the glass, I'm Femi Bedface saying good luck with all the bets. VSiN Primetime with Matt Humans and Will Hill coming up next.